Hello everyone, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. Today is Halloween. We finally arrived at the last day of the month and the last day of the third season, the third series of Drawing a Disney Villain every day for the month of October. Thanks for joining me for all of these, and I'm ready to unveil the last villain of the month of October. Today's Halloween treat is an interesting character, King Leonidas, from the 1971 film Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I was really happy to make this drawing and happy with the way it turned out. The movie is a favorite of mine. I just really think it's fun. I really like Angela Lansbury in it. I love the music. I like the way that it combines animation with live action. It's got a bit in common with Mary Poppins that way, but it's also a little bit more... if you can believe it, it's a little bit more far-fetched than Mary Poppins if you've never seen it. It involves a lot more witchcraft and wizardry, that sort of thing. The film is based on a couple of books by an author named Mary Norton. The books are The Magic Bedknob, or How to Become a Witch in 10 Easy Lessons, and also the book Bonfires and Broomsticks. And they sort of combined elements of both of those books to make this film. And as I say, it's one that I really enjoy. This character here is from a section in the middle of the movie that's basically entirely animated. It combines live action with animation, but the humans go into a fully animated world, the Isle of Naboombu, that's ruled by this lion, King Leonidas. And they need to go there in order to steal a magical artifact called the Star of Astaroth, which allows... it's a talisman that allows inanimate objects to come to life, and they need that in order to... complete these spells and save England and the world and all this kind of stuff. If you've never seen the movie, it's kind of a complicated plot. You have to check it out. But they go to this animated place, the Isle of Naboombu, and they have to have this soccer match because King Leonidas is this massive soccer fan, and they need to do that to sort of distract him and be able to steal the talisman. So it's a really cool sequence and a really fun movie. The character was animated principally by Milt Kahl, who I have mentioned a whole bunch of times. This is a name you should probably be familiar with if you followed my channel at all. And he did some cool work on this. But the character was also designed by somebody who worked at Disney, a Disney legend named Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson did a bunch of different things. He was an art director and an animator and a production designer. He also did some architectural and design work for Disneyland and Epcot. And he was also a screenwriter, particularly a screenwriter on the films Melody Time, So Dear to My Heart, which is kind of a deep cut. A lot of people don't know about that one. That was the first time, really, that Disney combined a lot of live action and animation in a feature film. Cinderella, The Jungle Book, he was a screenwriter on, Aristocats, and The Rescuers. So he did a whole bunch of different things for Disney over the years and, earned his spot as a Disney legend. And this movie, he basically did consulting work and the design of some of these characters, like King Leonidas. King Leonidas is basically named after the famous king of Sparta, King Leonidas, which you may be familiar with the story of him if you've seen the movie 300 or read the graphic novel 300. All of that stuff is loosely based on the historical events involving King Leonidas of Sparta. The character of Leonidas in this, besides just being a king, a lion, and a soccer fan and all that stuff, he is emotionally sensitive and temperamental. In that way, he's very similar to a lot of elements of Prince John. And also, he has some design characteristics, jawline and stuff that's very similar to Shere Khan from the Jungle Book. So he's kind of a combination of a bunch of different things that came before him and after him at the same time. Technically, Leonidas came before Prince John and Robin Hood, or was probably developed concurrently, to be honest. And he has some similar traits. In the Disney parks, this is another a cool tidbit. He was once featured in the Main Street Electrical Parade at Disneyland. There was a Dumbo Circus float unit in the parade that he was on, you could see him featured on, King Leonidas, and mysteriously they've brought back iterations of the electrical parade, but since 2009 that Dumbo unit has, for whatever reason, been discontinued in the electrical parade. So as a result, you can't see Leonidas, at least currently, unless they have any plans to bring it back in the future. I don't know, but that's a cool thing just to take a look at and see what they've done with that in the past. King Leonidas was voiced by a voice actor named Lenny Weinrib, who was pretty prolific and prominent back in the 60s and 70s and a little bit in the 80s too. Many roles of children of a certain age that would remember his voice. He voiced the title role in a Sid and Marty Krofft show called H.R. Pufnstuf, which was pretty popular back when. Many people may recognize that. He also voiced Grimace in the McDonaldland commercials, so his voice is recognizable as that. Most people would probably recognize him as the voice of the original Scrappy-Doo in the Scooby and Scrappy show. And some of my favorite random roles that he did that I find interesting are the voices of Hunk and Prince Lotor in Voltron, which was always a favorite of my sister's, so I watched that quite a bit when I was a kid, and Hunk is my favorite character off of that show, so he did a good job with that. And he's done dozens of other roles and voiceovers, announcer roles, and all kinds of stuff. If you were a little bit older than me and were a child probably in the mid to late 70s and early 80s, you probably recognize him more, but even throughout the 80s, you probably have heard his voice in one animated project or another. And he voiced King Leonidas here in Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which is a really fun role in a really fun movie. If you haven't seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks, I would totally encourage you to check it out. It's actually a great movie for Halloween because it involves witchcraft and wizardry and all kinds of cool magical stuff. And it's just really fun. It's really wacky and zany, and Angela Lansbury's in it, and she's awesome. And I just encourage everybody to go check it out. So thank you for joining me this entire month. Thanks for watching these and following along. I hope they were informative and enjoyable. I hope you had fun watching each of these or going back and watching them. I hope it enhances your Halloween season. And yeah, I had fun doing it. I hope you had fun watching it. We'll see you in the next video that I make whenever that comes around. But until then, thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, everybody.